You're performing several shows in your hometown for Something in the Water weekend. What does that mean to you, and what can we expect?
Um, it means a lot to me. I'm very excited because it is my first time performing at Something in the Water and just being a part of Something in the Water. And I know that I'm having two main shows on the 27th and 28th. The 27th is the kickoff one at the bunker, and the 28th is Something in the Water. And I'm just really excited because I get to see all of my friends and my favorite local artists performing, and it's just gonna be like a big Virginia Beach party.
You're from Virginia Beach, correct? Where'd you go to high school, and what was it like growing up?
Um, so I actually went to three different high schools, and I went to Lake Taylor, and then I went to Bayside for 2 years, and I graduated Ocean Lakes. So growing up, it was kind of just constantly being everywhere, all over the place, and it was very hectic, but I had a lot of different experiences with different people and just different places. So it was just like a wild ride growing up, just constantly going from school to school to schools. So it was a lot of experiences. It was cool
You said
though.
you had some. I saw your on your bio. You said you have some ups and downs. What can you expand on that a little bit more? And
Yeah. So like so it was just a lot of ups and downs because it was a lot of ups because I was starting to get more into my music and starting to get more serious with my music. Uh and my mom wanted me to focus more on school. So I had to kind of put music to the side until I got out of school. Um and just the downs of like going like constantly moving and not really having a lot of friends, I guess, because the friends that I did have, I had to leave them. And so never really had friends throughout the years except for one. And just constantly going through things in high school of like insecurities and just not really being confident in myself when it just came to just being myself. So that was like just a lot of ups and downs. And I feel like that affected me mentally to where I didn't want to really do a lot of courageous things. I kind of was just holding myself back a lot, questioning myself a lot, doubting myself a lot. And it took me a while to really break out of that because of my upbringing throughout my years in high school, especially. So it was just a lot of lack of self confidence.
when do you think was the moment you were like, I can really do this? Like this is for me.
The moment where I really felt like I could really do this was when I won the Revolt Summit um in 2019. And the I knew that I could do it because it was just the experience is just undescribable. It was my first time hearing a crowd chant my name. It was my first time hearing the audience clap, like everyone clap in the room to me singing. It was just like my first experience as a performer, really, really understanding this is what it's like to have a crowd that really enjoys you. And once I felt that, and when I had won, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. Like I knew not I've always known, but I knew that this is it. Like I'm serious now. Let's get
And that's
going.
Atlanta. Can you explain a little bit more about what that is, and what songs did you sing?
So the Revolt Summit is basically a a music convention that is kind of goes across the country, and the song that I sang was Overthrown, and that was one of my songs off of my first EP that I had put out, Oh Me. And the experience was crazy because I actually wasn't even supposed to like be on stage. It was just sort of out of luck. It was like the to audition to do the Revolt Summit competition, you had to pre-sign papers. You had to wait in a whole bunch of lines that had hundreds of people standing there. And we didn't even know what was going on. We kind of were just waiting in line. And on the line that we were at, we were like 120 on the list. So we weren't even close. And there was only like an hour left. And one of the ladies that was running the auditions came up and she was like, "Is there any singers in the line?" And my manager was like, "She sings, she sings." And she was like, "Sing me a song." And everybody just like went silent and just looked at me and was like fish eyes on me. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I sang to her. She was like, "Okay, you're good. Go here, take your photo. We're gonna put you in the box." And then I ended up auditioning and I made it and I was like, what is happening? Like I don't even know what's going on. Like I wasn't I guess technically like by fate I'm supposed to be here, but I just didn't even know what was happening. And then next thing you know, I'm winning the Revolt Summit and I'm like, okay. Like I just did that. That just happened. So it was fun. It was
Do
great.
you know who that lady is? Like if you make it really big,
Her
you say, hey,
oh
like you're the
Mercedes. Yes,
Mercedes.
and not the lady, Mercedes. She was amazing and she has been supporting me all the way through ever since 2019 till now. And she's just a great lady. And yeah, she rooted for me the moment I had made it to the top 5. And yeah, she's a great lady. So shouts out to Mercedes. Yeah, she's cool.
Going back a little bit, kind of what was your formative moment? I saw in your bio you were really big into rock band.
Mhm.
What were some of the music that you were listening to? And you said your mom wasn't necessarily a music person, but did she listen to stuff?
Oh no, my mom was a music person. My mom was a heavy music person. She actually made music. She actually used to write songs a lot and she used to rap when I was like in middle school. So my mom was like really heavy on music. And a lot of the songs that I would listen to on Rock Band were the bands like Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Nirvana, Black Sabbath, all of the, only the songs that they had like a few selections on the first Rock Band, but I listened to almost all the songs up there. And my mom was very heavy. I feel like my mom really influenced me a lot when it comes to the amount of different genres that I listen to. Because throughout my life, my mom would listen to Eminem, Mariah Carey, Lauryn Hill, Nickelback, sometimes Bob Marley, sometimes house music, dubstep, and then 80s. It was just like so much different sounds that my mom really enjoyed that we would listen together with too. And it was just like I feel like that's the reason why I have such an open perspective on the types of music that I listen to and enjoy is because of my mom. So she really paved that way of different genres for sure.
And that's like
But
the
yeah.
second time I've seen. I saw in your bio that you talked about Nickelback too. So I was like,
Yeah.
usually people are like Nickelback, but what's your
Yeah, no, my mom loved Nickelback, loved them a lot, and had all the CDs and everything, and we would listen to Nickelback on every road trip. It was awesome.
do you have one that like you can't listen to now that it's just like overplayed in your head?
Photograph. I feel like that song is like I love it. Don't get me wrong; it's like my childhood, but I can't listen to Photograph anymore. It's just too much. It's too much.
And it says you have a background in poetry. Can you talk a little bit more about that and who kind of inspired you to get writing? Did you have a teacher growing up or?
Yeah, actually it was my I think my 8th grade teacher. My 8th grade middle school teacher, her name was Miss B, and she is one of like my one of the the strangers that influence you or impact you in your life, the ones that kind of just have that space in your heart. She's one of those people to where she was like a few of the strangers that I met in my life that really impacted me in a positive way. And I remember being in her class and just always writing poems and showing them to her, always writing short stories and reading them to her. And she just would love them so much. And she was always rooting for me, like telling me to keep going, keep writing more, like pursue English more. And I remember the day that I was leaving and she was really upset. I remember she gave me a gift and it was sorry, that was my phone. But I remember she gave me a gift and it was a family size pack of original Skittles because I love original Skittles. It's my favorite candy. A 300 prompt journal that had different prompts that you could write to, which was awesome. A regular journal and a letter. And I lost her letter, which I'm really sad about because it was the sweetest thing. It was her just telling me how much she appreciated me as a student, and it had her email and her number if I ever wanted to keep in touch with her, and I lost it, which is very upsetting. But she definitely influenced me when it came to pursuing writing. So I feel like if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be writing. Like I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be an artist. I pursued poetry because of her. So shouts out to Miss B. She's
Miss B
amazing.
and Mercedes. So you got a
Mercedes, Miss B and Mercedes.
whole backup crew.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what are some of the artists who inspired you? You said we talked a little bit about some of the rock band people, but who else are you
Mhm.
listening to, and who are you listening to today?
The people that I'm listening to today, I've been listening to a lot of Tyler the Creator, a lot of Kendrick Lamar, and I've been trying to um dive back into my old songs that I used to listen to, like in middle school, like a lot of dubstep music that I used to listen to, like Nero and Skrillex and all of them, and a lot of EDM music. It's not really people that I listen to, it's just a lot of songs. But trying to get into that, and I've been listening to a lot of lo-fi as well, like just the beats, because I'm trying to practice more on my freestyling. So I've definitely been listening to a lot of instrumentals like lo-fi and boom bap. So, but artist-wise, Joji, Tyler Creator, Kendrick Lamar, right now they're really inspiring me. So they're really great to listen to.
How would you
I love them a
describe your
lot.
sound, and do those influences kind of appear in your music? And also, how do you think people relate so much to your music? Is it because you're willing to talk about your insecurities and different things like that?
Um, my sound is just kind of influenced by everything. Uh, Everything influences me, whether it's artists, drawings, movies, anime. It doesn't really matter. Uh, I feel like as a creative, everything kind of just influences you. And um, as a music aspect of impacting people, I feel like people relate to my music a lot because not a lot of people are really comfortable talking about how they feel, and not a lot of people are really comfortable being vulnerable. So when you have that artist or you have that creative that is giving a gateway into their insecurities and their emotions and being vulnerable, you relate to that even if you don't know how to express it yourself. And I feel like a lot of people like that from artists because sometimes they just can't express it themselves, but an artist can. And sometimes artists can put it into words or into melodies in a way that can't be described by just a conversation, you know? So I feel like that's why a lot of people really enjoy that vulnerability because it's relatable and it's magical.
And you're on Pusha T's label, right? How did
Yes.
that come to be? And what are y'all doing going forward?
Um, so it actually was funny because it was kind of like I was just doing local shows here in Virginia Beach, a lot at West Beach Tavern, a lot at Buco's, um, and just doing a lot of local shows and I guess putting my name out there. And I heard that his people actually heard about me through like just putting my name out there, and then his people went to Push, and then Push was kind of like, okay, like I'll keep an eye out on her, like people have been talking about her. And then he said it kind of hit the nail when his wife came up to him and was like, hey, did you hear about this artist like Shaolin, and like showed him my Instagram. She kind of like set the stone for that for him. So once that kind of happened, he was like, okay, I need to meet her. And then we met, and it was just like he was just down like from the jump. He was just like, all right, let's go. Like I'm ready. Like I'm ready to go. And it was just kind of like that. Like we were both ready to go. And now I'm signed to Def Jams, which is great. So I'm just working on a lot of albums and just working on a lot of new music that I'm really excited for.
You're
And
doing
I'm
a
just
debut
really
album, correct?
excited. Yeah, I'm doing a debut album, and it's just gonna be amazing. I'm just happy for all this, and I'm very because I worked hard, so this is very exciting. So I'm excited.
It says you've got some Grammy nominated Grammy winners on there. Are you willing to spill the beans on any of that? And when can we expect an album?
um, ooh, hopefully we can get an album done by the end of this year, like dropped by the end of this year. And if not, somewhere around the beginning of next year, but definitely trying to get an album out by like the end of the summer or the end of this year in like October-ish. But I mean, I got no tea on Grammy stuff right now. I mean, I wish I did, but I have nothing on that. So, I mean, I just signed the contract, so I'm definitely like a baby when it comes to the big leagues now. So definitely don't have a lot of tea on that, but definitely excited for this new album that I'm working on for sure. So that's gonna be great.
Yeah, and talking and Def Jam's like a big name as well. When was that? That was just like last month. What was the process like with that?
It honestly wasn't as difficult as I thought it was gonna be. I have a great manager. I have a great lawyer. Um, they were really easy to work with. Um, and the process just wasn't really that difficult. I mean, we had to wait through the holidays, obviously. But once the holidays were done, it was basically like only took about like a month or two to kind of like have everything finalized and done. So yeah, we're basically like ready to go. So it wasn't that difficult. It was a nice process. It was good.
Who else have you met so far? And what was it like meeting Pusha for the first time?
Um, I've met a lot, well, not a lot. I've met, well, I guess a lot, but I've met Andre Harrell before, he passed. And I met Pharrell, and he was dope. That experience was crazy, meeting Pharrell, because he was actually best friends with my dad in high school. Um, like they were like they had like their own group and stuff. And I remember like when he flew me out to meet him, we were sitting down, we were talking, and this was like 3 years ago, I think. We were sitting down and talking. I remember I was like, "Hey, do you remember, my dad?" And he was like when I said his name, he was like, "Wait, him?" And I was like, "Yeah, him." And he was like, and he put up a picture of my dad on Facebook and was like, "This is your dad?" He was like, "This is your dad?" And I was like, "Yep, that's my dad." And he was like, his mind was just blown because like his best friend's daughter, like his high school best friend daughter was like in his studio, like So it was just kind of crazy, like how small the world is. And meeting Push for the first time, it was a short experience, which is unfortunate because we were actually at like a party, I think, or like a something was going on, an event was going on, and he was in the VIP section. And the first time I met him, we were just like, oh yeah, we're here to meet Push. And people were like, you can't be here. You can't come up here. And then we were like, no, we're here to see him. Like he asked for us. And then when we finally made it to him, we were just like, it was smiles. We were like, hey, like, what's up? What's up? We dapped each other up. We took a picture and then it was like, all right, bye. And that was really it. Like, that was like our first experience. It was very short lived, but it was cool. Like, I had one of the biggest smiles on my face in that photo. So it was great.
And talking about Pharrell, what are some of your future goals? I mean, main something in the water stage coming up soon?
I'm sorry, what was that question? I didn't hear it correctly.
Yeah, it's just talking about Pharrell and something in the water.
Mhm.
Do you have a goal? I mean, of course, going on the main stage at something in the
Oh,
waters.
for sure. Oh yeah, no, that will happen. I know for sure that I will be on the Something in the Water stage. And that is a goal of mine that I am very excited for it to come to life. And I'm already happy that I'm even really headlining all the local shows. And it's just I don't know, it's like it's just very exciting. I'm just grateful, you know. And I just can't wait to be on the main stage because I don't know, I you know when as a creative you have fantasies, and I just like always fantasize being in front of a big crowd with my band and just going crazy and having fun and everyone having fun, and that's just like how I see myself on any stage. So I that's definitely a goal of mine, is to bring my band with me onto the main stage and just have fun. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
How many members of your band? So people see it and they're like, "Oh, it's just Shaolinn," but who else is with you?
So when I perform live, I usually have a band, or I have two people. So the people that I perform live with that are just the two, John Keesley, who plays the piano, the keys, and then my friend Darius, who does the bass as well on his keys. So sometimes I'll just do acoustic sets with the pianos, and then when I have the band, I'll have my drummer Congo, I'll have my bass player Isaiah, and I'll have a sax player maybe sometimes David, and my guitar player Sam, and then John Keesley as well. John Keesley is like my right hand man, like he's my best friend. He basically does every show with me, and that's my guy. I love
That's a
him.
great name for a keyboardist.
Yes. Oh, for sure. John Keesley. Yes, for sure. Yeah, it's very
How'd you
great.
meet him? Did you know him growing up?
No, I didn't. I did not know him growing up. I actually met him at one of my sets that I was doing, and he was he was playing the keys on one of uh stripped the stripped songs that are out, Vivian, Lie for Me, and Heavy Heart. He was playing the keys on the stripped versions of those songs, and I met him and the bass player and a bass player called 48th Street. He's dope as well. I met him on set, and then I remember going back to their apartment, and we were just there the whole night and just making music together, freestyling, like just hanging out. And then after that night, we were like, yo, we have to do this again. And he just kind of just kept coming back when I asked him if he could perform with me. And it was great. He's one of my besties. I love that guy.
And where do you perform if we can't catch you this weekend or just want to see you going forward? Where else should we go?
You guys should definitely go to my Spotify or my Apple Music, because after the Something in the Water shows, I don't know what other shows I'm doing. So I'm probably going to be uh traveling after Something in the Water shows to be making more music. So any shows after that, I do not know. But if you guys do want to listen to my music, yes, you can follow me on Spotify, on Apple Music, SoundCloud even. And yeah, it's just my name, Shaolin. So up there.
And real quick, some more fun questions. Talking about Shaolin, how
Mhm.
did you get that name? I know you said you're influenced by anime and that sort of stuff. So could you talk a little bit more about that? And what's your DMV? What's your legal name?
Oh, my legal name is Shaolin.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. My mom actually named me after Seven Deadly Sins and Wu-Tang. So she is a big Wu-Tang fan, and she loves kung fu flicks, which I do as well. But I grew up watching kung fu flicks as well, and she named me after Seven Deadly Sins. So throughout my life growing up, everybody was like, "Oh, do you know kung fu?" Da, da, da. And it was just kind of like a played out joke. And I was like, haha, no, I don't know kung fu. But because everybody loved my first name so much, Shaolin, I just was like, I mean, I see no point in having an artist name because my name is already so cool. Everybody loves it, so I might as well make it my artist name. So it's like, and it's a great question because when people come up to me and they ask me, they're like, Shaolin's dope. Like, what's your real name? And then I'm like, Shaolin. And they're like, oh my God, that's so sick. Like, yo. And they're just like, they just get so hyped. And I'm like, yeah, my name is cool. Shouts out to my mom. So
That's
yeah,
so cool.
that's my first name. Yeah.
And real quick, what are some of your favorite places in Hampton Roads? Like, where would you go this weekend or coming up for something in the water? Where would you go to eat? Where would you go hang out? That's not at the
Ooh.
oceanfront or
I would go to Buco's restaurant, not restaurant, Buco's bar. That's by Green Run High School. Yes, Green Run High School. I'll go to Buco's bar because almost every Wednesday, I think, uh there's an open mic night, Virginia's Got Talent. Um there's an open mic night almost every Wednesday there, and it's so dope just being there. The Saigon restaurant that's right across the street from my house, that is amazing. I love that place. And
what's your order?
any
What do you get?
my order, I always get the beef wonton soup with the crispy rolls, two crispy rolls, and a side of uh lemon pepper wings, honey lemon pepper wings.
Ooh,
So that's literally what I get. I know it's a weird combination, but beef wonton soup with two crispy rolls and a side of lemon pepper wings, sometimes with fries and a Thai tea. I always get a Thai tea. So yeah. And yeah, just and any Mexican restaurant you can think of because I love Mexican food. So shouts out to all the Mexican restaurants in Virginia Beach. So
are
yeah.
you a fan of the white sauce, like the Hampton Roads white sauce, or not?
No, I don't like the white sauce at any of the Mexican restaurants. I just don't like I don't like the taste of it. It's like a weird vinegary, like floral taste. I don't like it. It's a weird taste. It's not for me.
And who are you looking forward to seeing most at something in the water and then on the other stages that are
Um, so who I'm looking forward to seeing the most, Tyler the Creator, and Kid Cudi. And local artist wise, Kai Infinite, G Lit, Naive, um, Boris Lucid, Full Metal Parkus probably the most because that's my guy. Local artist wise. And yeah, that's really it. Uh Mainly Tyler the Creator, because I just love Tyler the Creator. He's just dope. So yeah, I'm excited to see him.
and
So,
talking
yeah.
about G Lit, y'all are really kind of the headliners for a lot of these different free
Yeah.
events. What is it like? How much do y'all collaborate, and how does it feel being kind of like the female leads for the local music scene. Just
It's dope because G Lit is like she's like the complete opposite of me. And it's like and I feel like we're just two different people. So the fact that two different people get to represent like all of the like the local communities and the just the local shows and something in the water, the fact that we both can represent that in two different ways is just super dope. Like she's just a dope person in general. Like uh collaborating wise, like we haven't really talked about it, but every time like we hang out or every time we are at the shows together, like it's just love. Like she's just a dope person. And um when she showed me some of her new music, like it's just she's just so dope, and I'm just so excited for you guys to watch us perform with the band, and I'm excited for everyone to meet us because we're all every local artist is just all different and all great, and we all have something different to bring to the table. So I'm just excited for all of it.